Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Golden Astrologer Podcast. This is Deb McBride, and I am with you on Sunday, the 14th of December in the year 2025 from Escazú, Costa Rica, where it is raining, and it shouldn't be. Well, we don't expect it to this time of year. It should be finishing by now, but a little rain yesterday, a lot of rain yesterday, and a little rain today isn't going to hurt anybody. We have some interesting astrology in this moment. So Mars is at the end of Sagittarius, and we like Mars in Sagittarius because Mars loves fire, loves to be in fire. So it's in a fire sign, and it is at 29 degrees, 41 minutes of Sagittarius, the very end of the sign. And it's in Sag with 3 other planets. All the inner planets except the moon are in Sagittarius, and the moon's going to be there in a few days. So we'll get to that. But everything's in Sag. Mercury's in Sag, Venus is in Sag, the sun is in Sag, and Mars is in Sag. Now, Mars is going to leave Sagittarius at 2:34 a.m. Eastern Time on Monday the 15th. And it's going to go into Capricorn then. And in the meantime, what it's been doing, as I mentioned last week, is it's gone from squaring Saturn last Monday to squaring Neptune now. And we all know, and you've heard me say 1,000 times, that Neptune is in the last degree of the whole zodiac. And so Mars is putting pressure on Neptune, pressing on it, squaring it, challenging Neptune. And Mars makes the aspect, it is the faster moving planet. And so it's challenging Neptune, and then it'll pop into Capricorn tomorrow and then move on with its life in another sign. But in the meantime, the other day, I made an Instagram video saying that the energy we were experiencing was brutal. And brutal is not a word that I associate with Neptune. You know, insidious, tricky, sensitive, creative, visionary, but definitely there's some trickiness there, especially when Mars gets involved with Neptune. And Mars is aggressive, assertive, forthright, direct, and it's tricky when it's trickier when it's involved with Neptune, especially in a challenging aspect. So they did that at 6:44 a.m. Eastern Time today. And it's been building up to a Mars square Neptune exactly. But I remember when Mars squared Neptune a couple of years ago, when Mars was retrograde. It was 3 years ago in 2022, when it was in retrograde in Gemini. And it was squaring Neptune from Gemini to Pisces, because Neptune was in Pisces, but it was 3 times a square and back and forth, with the retrograde. And that was hard. We were saying that energy was brutal. It was just harsh energy. And you think, why is it harsh? And I think because it comes from behind and surprises you and smacks you upside the head. And that's what it is. Neptune, if you think of Neptune as insidious and then Mars as an attack, this is a surprise attack. This is an attack from behind the back door, behind your back, behind the whole thing, whatever scene is going on. So Mars and Neptune, while they can also make for, like my late partner used to say, watching Brazil play soccer is like watching ballet. Okay? And he was British, so he knew his soccer, right? So, or football as they call it here. That's a Mars Neptune. That's playing soccer. It's a little rough, but Neptune is the ballet part. So we're playing soccer like ballet. So when I think of Mars Neptune square, or Mars and Neptune together in general, especially a conjunction, I would think that's what I think of. And I really feel that Mars Neptune though right now, because I feel like I've been hit over the head. My sleep has been terrible the last 2 nights. And so it's pushing through the exhaustion, the fog, the fog of Neptune. Mars pushes, Neptune is the fog. There you go. So we're in this dreamlike state, this dreamlike fog. If perhaps your sleep was disrupted, it's like Mars comes in and disrupts your sleep. It's a disruptive energy sometimes. Not always, but sometimes. And when Mars squares Neptune, our sleep tends to get disrupted. So this is where we are right now, and it's been hard. I think this whole, and I feel it's been hard. It's been exhausting. Everyone I talk to, it looks at me like they're half asleep and they're half there listening, and it isn't just Mars. It's this Neptune at the end of the zodiac. It's the Saturn with Neptune coming closer to Neptune at the end of the zodiac. This is energy that's asking us to transform in a very deep and profound way. And it's not going to let up until it gets into Aries, one of which will be Neptune first at the end of January, and the second of which will be Saturn. That will happen in February, and then they'll meet up. Now, if you want more information and an in-depth discussion of that Saturn-Neptune situation that's going from Pisces to Aries, then I recommend you get my video of my year ahead presentation for 2026. And it's called Rebellion of Fire and Air. Astrology 2026, the Rebellion of Fire and Air. And it's because so much is going into fire and air, or is already present in fire and air, or air. And that is where the vibe of next year is going. So I talk a lot about what's happening with Saturn and Neptune in that presentation. It's about 2 hours or so long. It's $55. If you'd like the link to buy the video, I can do that. I presented it almost 2 weeks ago. Please write to me, info@thegoldenastrologer.com or deb@debmcbride.com. And you can purchase that for only $55. And it's worth having on hand for all of 2026. And as I always say, especially this time of year, how do you get into the next year without looking at astrology? You have to look at astrology. You have to look at what's coming. And Saturn and Neptune is a big deal. It's a big deal. You know, when Saturn gets together with an outer planet, that's some heavy duty energy, especially Neptune, especially Pluto. Uranus, yes, it can certainly be with Uranus as well, and complicated, but especially since they're very different energy. But Saturn and Neptune are very different energy as well. Saturn and Neptune conjunct happens less often than Saturn and Uranus. Saturn and Pluto happen less often than Saturn and Uranus. So, you know, when there is a big deal going on like this, I say get all the information that will help you. So if you'd like that video, let me know. You can DM me on Instagram as well, The Golden Astrologer, and I can send you the link to purchase. It's only $55. So the meantime is that we've got, you know, Mars now making that path, that crossroad out of Sag into Capricorn, and that happens later today, tomorrow morning, or in the afternoon for you if you're in a different region of the world, such as Australia. And this pressure will sort of let up, and then we'll move into other things that are happening this week, because now that Mars has made that action, the Sun is doing this. So we have the Sun also in Sagittarius, as I mentioned, moving into the square of Saturn, and that would be Tuesday at 11:34 p.m. So it's Tuesday night, 11:34 p.m. The Sun will square Saturn, just the way Mars squared Saturn last Monday. And then later in the week, the Sun is going to square Neptune. And we're going to get to that in a moment, because the Sun is now taking this path in Sagittarius the way Venus will, the way Mercury will eventually. But since Mercury went retrograde, Mercury's not going to do this until around New Year's. Venus is going to get there next week. Venus is going to be doing the Saturn square and then the Neptune square before it goes into Capricorn on Christmas Eve. So that's not this coming week. That's the week after. So what we've got to do is prepare. So we've got the Sun squaring Saturn Tuesday, and then we've got Venus squaring Saturn Saturday, the 20th. And so this is all happening almost simultaneously because Venus and the Sun are very close. And so Sun square Saturn is a little bit of the doldrums. It's a little bit of stuck energy. It's a little bit of disciplinarian energy. It's a little hard energy, moving through places where we may feel stuck, moving through places where we may feel like we have to push on through, we want to give up. Saturn at the end of the zodiac is always whispering in your ear, are you sure you don't want to give up? And we have to say, no, Saturn, I'm not giving up. I've got to get through this. And what it is that Saturn's talking about, like what you need to give up on. I'm not talking about the totality of life, but I'm talking about whatever goals you have, whatever projects you have, whatever things you're working on to change in your life. And at this point, you should know very well, and most of us know very well, how we are moving towards a certain goal that is out there for us in these next months and in next year. And there may be something you've got your heart set on, or that you're working on, or that is a long-term goal, and you are trying to affect results with that and achieve something with that. And Saturn likes achievement, yes, but there is a component to this where Saturn's like whispering in your ear, like I said. And that is confusing, especially when then Neptune is whispering in the other ear. You've got to have faith. You've got to pull through. You need to surrender. Have faith. Be strong. And Saturn saying, why would you do that? It's the proverbial cartoon angel on one shoulder, devil on the other. And so they're working both sides here. So you have to say, I'm going to be cautiously in faith. And that's the way to play this. So it's complicated. It is a complicated time, and everyone is feeling this burdensome energy that we have. Thank you, Saturn, and some brutality from Mars and Neptune, and it's been just one thing after another. So I was saying that there's something in your life you're trying to reach or get through right now to get to the other side of this. And you have to pass through this dark moment because it ain't light. It's not light. This is not, don't worry, we're going to get through it. We've got months of this yet. Okay? We've got months of this yet. Today is December 14th, just about halfway through December. And we've got those conjuncting exactly on the 20th. And we've got an eclipse 2 months from now on the 17th. So, this is all really profound and powerful and intense in these months as they come closer together, Saturn and Neptune, and as they have the other planets touching them and provoking them, okay, which is going to go on till the end of the year, okay? In the meantime, we have to move through Sagittarius season, which is ending next Sunday. Sagittarius season will end and Capricorn season will begin. And the next time I greet you on this podcast, Sunday the 21st, will be the winter solstice in the north and the summer solstice in the south. And the sun will enter Capricorn at 10:03 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this is the last week of Sagittarius. This is the last full week of Sagittarius season. It may have felt a little over the top, and it's interesting. I think it's been a bit over the top probably because Mars was there, and so the energy of Sag was like, yeah, let's keep going. And what does Sag do best? It has a good time. It travels, it speaks foreign languages, it studies. Sagittarius likes knowledge, and Pisces likes knowledge, and they like wisdom as well. And so the fact that there's this dynamic right now between the planets in Pisces and all these planets in Sagittarius is like there is something to be said for studying something and learning something and being aware of something new that you would like to study or gain knowledge about. But Sag has a good time, and with the Sun and Mars and Venus and Mercury all in Sagittarius, that's a lot of Sag energy. That's 4 planets that are in that fire sign, and they are saying, go ahead, indulge, have a little more cake, have a little more shopping, have another Christmas party, go do it. What the hell, And now that the Sun is going into Capricorn, we are going to be experiencing more caution, more resistance. If you've done all your Christmas shopping, that's a good thing because now you're not going to want to spend money. Now you're going to want to be cautious. Now you're going to want to take your time with things and just sort of be present. And that's more Capricornian energy. Being grounded, it's earth, right? So being more practical, it's earth. And because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, it's definitely a more cautious sign, right? So the experience of Sagittarius will not go out without a bang, which is Friday the 19th when we have the new moon in Sag. And that new moon lands at 28 degrees Sagittarius, 25 minutes. And that is very interesting. Why is that interesting? Because we know that that's right in between where Saturn and Neptune are getting the square. So, as I told you, Tuesday, Sun squares Saturn. Then it's going to go along and the Sun and the Moon are going to meet up in Sagittarius, where that will happen Friday. And the Moon is going to also make the square to Saturn, 3:04 p.m. on Friday. Then it's going to connect with the Sun at 8:43 p.m. And that is our new moon. 28 degrees of Sagittarius is a big square to Neptune. Okay, so this is, the moon is moving from that square to Saturn, just like everybody else. Once it gets into Sag and everything, and it does the Sagittarian visit, it will enter Sag on Wednesday. So this is a journey for a couple of days because that's how long it takes for the moon to move through a sign. But it'll get to that end of Sag, and then moon goes into the conjunction with the sun. We have the new moon, and then the moon right after that, 2 hours later, will square Neptune. So the moon squares Saturn, conjuncts the sun, squares Neptune. Friday's a big day. I would venture to say that Friday is the big day of this week because it's going to feel a little bit pinchy as the moon makes those aspects that everybody else has been doing, that Mars has done, that the sun will be doing, that eventually Venus will start doing. So what we're looking at is all of that wild Sagittarius energy. Mars will be gone. Mars is leaving tomorrow. But then Wednesday, the moon will move into Sagittarius, 11:38 a.m. Eastern Time, and then stay there till it goes into Capricorn very late Friday night, 11:53 p.m. So this is the feeling of, woohoo, it's Sag time. You know, it's a big new moon. So if you're going to a Christmas party, don't be surprised if it's going to be some wild time. But also, there is this relationship that the moon is having with those two planets, and it might mellow it out a little bit. But since the last aspect that the moon is making before it goes void on Friday night is the square to Neptune, please watch your indulgence. Please watch your indulgence. Be very careful. Don't overeat, overdo it. Don't drink and drive. Just be careful because a little while later, an hour later, the moon's going into Capricorn. So then the hangover is going to be the next day when Sun squares Neptune and Venus squares Saturn. Okay, they're going to be later at night, and actually Venus squaring Saturn is going to happen, midnight-ish Sunday morning. So you're going to feel it though. It's coming Saturday night. So it's asking us to have a good time, but a cautiously optimistic good time. Enjoy your Christmas party. Go do what you need to do, with your office group or whatever. Show up, be present, be lovely, be festive, but also be cautious. Because there's too much wild energy here and it's at the end of the sign, which is like, I'm just going to go out and go wild and have a great time. Okay, it's at the end, and it's all going to square Neptune, because even though that new moon will square Neptune, the sun doesn't get there till the next day because they're so close together. The sun will get there the next day. And so it's all hanging around this challenge to Neptune, which it's just begging us to overindulge, right? We want to say, no, I'm not going to do that. So it's also a confusing time. it's also, I'm starting something new, but I don't know what on earth it is. And, or I'm starting something new, but I really need to buckle down and get situated and grounded about this and be disciplined about it. And something feels like it's escaping me simultaneously. There's a big escape with Neptune's energy. That's another facet of Neptune. We just had this Mars, Neptune, and maybe something escaped you. Maybe it escaped your memory. Maybe, oh my God, my parents are coming tomorrow? I thought it was next Monday. They're spending an extra week with the holiday. Oh my God, they're coming tomorrow. And so, this is something that could escape us. And there is a lot of escapist energy around Neptune. Neptune's where we go to escape, whether it's the beach, whether it's the movies, whether it's overindulgence. This is where we go to escape. So there may be something that just simply escapes you. So look at your calendar, keep paying attention, and try to stay as focused as you can, okay? And so the new moon will happen Friday evening, the 19th, and, be festive, be merry, but also, be grounded and practical about it at the same time, And then what we're going into is Capricorn season, which starts at the solstice on Sunday, the 21st. So it's an interesting dynamic this week because everything is sort of lining up to hit that Saturn and Neptune, Everything is lining up in Sag one at a time. So we just finished Mars, then we're going to have the sun, and then Venus is going to start like hours after the sun makes its last aspect to Neptune, and then Venus and Saturn. So, and there's also a little pinchy feeling around Venus and Saturn. There's like, I thought you loved me. I thought I could believe in you. I thought I believed in our relationship. I thought you were my friend. And I'm feeling not like that. Also, what I'm finding is old habits, old patterns, the past is revisiting. And that's a lot to do with the position of these two planets. And again, Saturn on one shoulder, Neptune on the other. There's a part of you that doesn't believe you're ever going to really heal your past. And there's a part of you that doesn't believe you can get past certain things. We're trying to all turn over a new leaf here. We're all trying to turn over something from the past to get forward in the future. Saturn and Neptune are the future. Uranus going into Gemini is the future. This is some big stuff, and we're leaving behind big things, and the old stuff that goes bump in the night may be provoking you in your sleep, in your daytime thoughts, in your straying consciousness. So you've got to bring yourself back to center, to the present moment, and ground yourself in the present moment. Neptune is a leaky energy. It slides under doors. Old things may come back and you'll get a whiff of them passing in front of you. There's a whiff of dissatisfaction. There's a whiff of divine discontent. There's an essence of the past that might have left you feeling besmirched. Don't you love that word? Besmirched. So this is a real essence of leaving the past in the past, not letting it follow you into not just the new year, but this new dynamic we're going into within a few months. We've got fresh energy coming. Leave the past where it was. Stay out of the past. Whenever I get like that, and I mean, I'm human, we all go there. It's like, stay out of the past, Deb. Stay out of the past. It does us no good. It does us no good. Unless it's a happy memory. Oh, remember when our little girl was a toddler and how sweet she was and da-da-da-da-da. Those kinds of things. Our baby's first words, when she took her first steps, or remember that lovely vacation we took in the south of France. Anything wonderful and pleasant. But unfortunately, the past has its tentacles in things that we are better off not dwelling upon. Okay, so we really want to pay close attention to where our thoughts go, our straying thoughts are, and where the thoughts may go, the emotions follow, or where the emotions come from. The thoughts suddenly are back there, like, how did I get back there? I was just like standing here stirring the pot on the kitchen stove. What am I doing? And we kind of go out of body when we do that. It just sort of slips away from us. But we need to come back to the moment, keep stirring the pot on the kitchen stove, keep your feet grounded, and keep your face in the present. Okay? And this is something we need to practice for lifetimes anyway, for our life over and over again. But really, what we want to do is not allow this energy to drag us down, because it's a heavy energy. Saturn and Neptune are heavy. And, this week I was saying, why is this relentless energy just not going away? And relentless in the fact that it's ever present, it's not dwindling, and it just seems to keep on chugging along when we would like to advance into the future. Well, we're not at the future yet, and that's February. Okay, we've got to revisit all these areas that we visited this year when Saturn and Neptune were at the end of Pisces earlier in the year, before they went into Aries, and the one that went retrograde out of Aries into Pisces again. We're revisiting all of this, all these energies, memories, thoughts, and places we've been, and anything that could have brought us backwards. Okay, we want to not indulge them. Oh yeah, you're driving by the scene. You're driving by your old school. You're driving by your old home. You're waving. It's not those days anymore. It's not school anymore. It's not your old home anymore. It's not the old family anymore. It's not the old neighborhood anymore. We are just driving by the scene of whatever the event was. Okay, so we're just revisiting things we saw this year. And we're getting ready to move forward in a major way. And it's true, you have to start letting go of where we've been. And honestly, letting go of the last 3 years or so with Saturn, and letting go of a lifetime of emotions with Neptune, because Neptune is leaving the zodiac to start a new zodiac. So this is so important for each of us to pay attention to and to not ignore. And when feelings come up from the past and you're like, what am I doing back there? Just go, okay, it doesn't matter anymore, and let it go. Easier said than done, right? Easier said than done. Other things that don't involve Saturn and Neptune this week are Jupiter in Cancer, which is retrograde, and it's going to be squaring Chiron next Sunday. And so opening up and being aware of the wounds, opening up and seeing where the wounds are and where we might have felt wounded, and where we can heal that, because Jupiter's there to say, hey, it's okay. I'm with you. I've got your back. And then Venus is trining Chiron on Thursday the 18th. So that's actually a very good positive, supportive recognition and conscious awareness of our wounds. So Chiron is getting, some Venus, some Jupiter this week, and that's going to help us sort of assuage those wounds of the past. Okay, so there's some support there in both of those planets touching that. In the meantime, we've got Moon in Scorpio later today, and then the next couple days, and this week, and then it goes into Sag. And there are birds outside chirping and squeaking and making cute little noises. I think you hear them. And they're saying, it's okay, don't worry, it's okay. So we've got this week ahead, and it is going to be okay. We've just got to move through this new moon and not feel like we are being slapped in the face with a surprise from Neptune. We have to work through each of these things one at a time. Okay? And remember, Neptune is about inspiration as well. And if we are feeling inspired and dreaming of the things we want to accomplish, these are good uses of Neptune's energy. Okay? the thing is to be realistic, because we are going into Capricorn season and Mars goes into Capricorn tomorrow. So some achievement oriented energy will be present for us. And then also we'll be feeling like we've got one foot grounded in reality, and we've got these other dreamy things that happen with Neptune and in Sagittarius energy, and how we want to visualize going forward in our lives. So what are your dreams? What are your visions? What do you feel you want to connect with in your future, and what are those goals? Mars can help you make them real. Mars can help you get practical on the steps you need to take, and certainly Sag energy can help you study if you need to, and be inspired and dream up a new business plan, a new creative project, something like that. So these are everyday uses of this energy. And if you would like to talk to me about how you can use this energy going forward, certainly set up a session with me by connecting with me either through my website, thegoldenastrologer.com, clicking book online. And you can choose an astrology session or a Reiki session, or maybe you'd like to do longer term work with me where we can, look at things more deeply as we go into a whole new life cycle for everyone. And that expansion mentoring can be 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. I'm happy to work with you and sort through any desires to go step forward in your life. I've helped people do that many times, to connect with their vision and then make it real. And that's what the energy is about right now. So let's do that. And I also do my Instagram posts. I left a couple of posts this week, and certainly connect with me on Instagram. You can DM me there. I'll be doing videos, but you can also talk to me there if you want to connect with me in the sense of setting up a session. And you can click book now in the profile of Instagram, and it will let you go to my website and book a session. Thank you so much for listening. I hope your week ahead is beautiful. Enjoy the new moon. Don't overindulge. Use the energy wisely and try to be practical as you can. A balance of practicality and inspiration and all good things. Beautiful week ahead. Thank you for listening. Much gratitude to each and every one of you. Have a beautiful week.